Hi, we are here today with Nathan from Lighten Up. Nathan, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Why don't you just give us a brief history on Lighten Up and where you guys got started?
Lighten Up has been around for about 5 years. I've been in the lighting industry since 97, 96. Went to school, not necessarily for lighting, took a couple lighting classes to learn a little bit about it, and then started getting into the commercial lighting grip work. Did that for a couple years and then kind of moved into the special event industry. About 5 years into doing the lighting, I wanted a little bit more from it, more of the designing capabilities that I was kind of limited as just being a lighting technician or a grip. And so I was at a point in my life after, I don't know, approximately 6, 7 years in the lighting industry, I decided it was time for me to start my own company. 5 years in the making, like I said, and it's continued to grow every year.
Tell us about the art of lighting. Where do you start if you have a look that you're trying to design?
It really all starts with the client. There's different visions, there's different aspects that they want to bring into their wedding. So I just kind of complement what that is. To elaborate a little bit more, I can give suggestions. A lot of people don't know anything about lighting because usually sometimes, I hate to admit this, not on the forefront. You know, you have your florals, you have the location, you have the food, and then the lighting comes in. But at the same time, the lighting really creates the ambiance for the evening. I kind of collaborate with what they want, and then I kind of share some stuff that I've experienced and done before. With that said, sometimes different lighting looks go better with different venues compared to outdoor weddings and stuff like that.
Since I'm new in the lighting world, can you teach me some lighting lingo?
Most definitely. I try not to get too technical when we do our proposals, when we do talking like this with people. I try to keep it to a minimum, but sometimes I slip and say a gobo, for example. And, you know, gobo kind of sounds kind of funny.
Got nothing.
You know? And so I describe it basically, it's either a monogram or your initials that you can project onto dance floors, perimeter walls, stuff of that nature. Or it could be like something romantic of branch leaves and texture that you can do projections of. That would be one example of a technical term, and that is a gobo.
Gobo.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure that you see brides that have all different kind of budgets. What
Yeah.
are you able to do, or are you able to do things with lighting for a smaller budget?
That's a great question. The smaller jobs, to me at least, are just as important as the large jobs. Not everyone can afford to have an extra expense to the wedding, especially lighting. The most important thing for people that I would recommend, two things that are very important. One is ambient uplighting around the perimeter walls. It's real simple. It's just a lighting instrument that just shoots up. Now, people with larger budgets, there's new technology out there with lighting where you can actually change colors. You can do chasing during dancing after the drinks kick in, and it can be elegant during the dinner and stuff like that. So one would be the uplight, and the second is the pin spots. And a pin spot is basically a lighting instrument that is projected onto a table that has either a high or low centerpiece. A lot of people put a lot of time and energy into their florals, and so my job is to enhance that. And so the pin spots and the uplights can create a lot for that.
Now, are there any trends or anything new that we should know about in the world of lighting?
Well, one was I kind of touched on a little bit with the lights changing colors. They're more of a crisper, cooler look. They're called LEDs. And those light instruments compared to the old-fashioned conventional are night and day. Just like I said, the crispness of the color. And basically the main thing is they draw less power. So when you do events in ballrooms or outdoors, sometimes you might not have to bring a generator in, sometimes you might not have to bring in extra power in the ballroom where the engineers which eventually would charge the client for using more electricity. Another benefit of the LEDs is the chasing, like I said, the color changing. A lot of clients would, for like cocktail hour, have a color. Then for the first course, they changed another one, the second course. And so that would be the newest thing for technology-wise for weddings. Obviously, there's more lighting instruments for special events, corporate gigs that we can bring into, but for wedding-wise, it's the newest thing that we like to use.
Nathan, why don't you describe for me the difference between a room with lighting and a room without lighting?
That's a good question. A lot of my friends that I grew up with sometimes can't comprehend what it looks like. So what we do is we take some pictures on my website and we show what it looks like before and after. Basically, it's really bright. It's like you're a Kmart or a Walmart, if you will, with fluorescent tubes, or just really bright, and you can't really feel the intimacy. We basically turn off, if you will, the entire lights. If there's some chandeliers, we kind of glow them at 15 to 20% tops. And then the down lights, we turn those completely off, because you get a lot of bounce from the uplights on the walls, highlights the florals with the pin spots. And then you either have a band or a DJ, and you kind of highlight those as well with lighting instruments. So the best thing is for people to look at it, A, and then B, with the change.
So what are some different environments that you do lighting in?
Quite a few. I mean, usually in the ballrooms and tents / canopies are the normal. Sometimes you have, you get married like on a hilltop or something, so you got to schlep all the gear up there, and you got to make it look like it's not there, basically. And that's the most important thing about lighting, is that you want to create the ambiance and see the lighting effect, but you don't want to make it like a rock and roll show. You don't want to see the lighting instruments. We do a very a detailed job in our work, in a sense of hiding the cables, making the lights less noticeable.
And lighting can still have a huge effect being outside or with normal daylight. It's still able to stand out on its own.
Absolutely. I almost prefer doing outdoors, because you can bring the outside environment and incorporate that into the look with uplighting of large trees and little elements of, sometimes there's like a mountain out there that they want to see the mountain at night, or the ocean. You know, sometimes we've done weddings like up in Santa Barbara or here in Laguna, where they want us to light the actual ocean during the evening. So we light it for them, even though it might be a football field away or whatnot. So,
what's your favorite part about being in the wedding industry?
That's a good question. I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. Obviously, I enjoy lighting, and I enjoy the design capabilities that it allows me to express. But the most important thing for me is to go and see the client walk into the door and see the final product and make sure that they're satisfied and they're happy, and this is the most important night of their lives, and that they're just completely happy with everything. And to me, personally, that is more gratifying than any other elements on the lighting industry.
So Nathan, why don't you give us your contact information?
I'd love to. It's 949-566-9878, and the website's www.lightenupinc.com.
Thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.